Why does Marvel keep performing better than DC in terms of movies? Well, this has been going on for quite some time now. Let's just say more than 15 years now. Marvel have been dominating the superhero universe. Now, what I thought about DC situation is that Marvel have good leaders. And the truth of the matter is that Marvel grace is just working for them. Because if DC should get it right, DC just need let's just say 3 to 4 projects that can match the MCU entire rosters. Because if you take a look at it, the Marvel Universe Foundation actually started from Robert Downey Jr. in 2010. Before 2010, Marvel superheroes were irrelevant besides Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Because the only thing that was starting for Marvel by that time is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, because Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man dominated from 2001 to 2008 or 9, if I'm not mistaken. But when the MCU got introduced, which they start with Iron Man, that is when a lot of Marvel fans started becoming active members. In fact, Marvel have dropped a lot of animated projects in the past few years, but none of them have actually stand out. And Marvel Comics is not even best-selling comics at that time. The only time when Marvel Comics starts selling is when the MCU started dominating. And whether you guys like it or not, DCU still remain at the top. Forget the fact that Marvel is dominating in movie right now. One single good step from DC can overshadow Marvel. Now let me explain. DC have already set the foundation. Because DC have set the foundation from the comics. DC have one of the best-selling comics. No matter how Marvel release their comics, they can't dominate DC Comics in terms of history, even currently now. I'm talking about All Stars Comics, Detective Comics. Even currently now, Absolute Comics, which is the Absolute Universe, is currently dominating the comic book genre right now, which is DC Comics. And another reason why I say that DC have 1 million ways to overtake Marvel is due to DC Animation Foundation. Because take a look at it, 90% of DC fans fell in love with DC through their animation, not by their movies. Because during the 90s and the 2000s, DC movies was not that relevant, because the movies DC normally had then was Superman and Batman. Besides those two projects, there were no other project. But in terms of animation, DC have released a lot of animation during the years. I'm talking about Justice League Unlimited, Superman and Batman animated series, Green Lantern series, even Justice League series. And during those projects, DC have introduced a lot of their heroes. So the groundwork is already there for DC. DC just need to adapt 1 or 2 projects, and DC is back on track. But DC choose to be unfortunate. That's why Marvel are still leading at the moment. But it looks like Marvel luck have started running out. Now here is the fact that we all need to accept. Despite the fact that Avengers Doomsday is coming, Marvel are still short of options. Because take a look at it, Robert Downey Jr. actually make Iron Man character to be relevant. The Iron Man character did not make Robert Downey Jr. to be popular. Robert actually made that character to be popular. Same goes to Chris Evans. Chris Evans made Captain America to be relevant. And you calculate that when these two actors drop out of Marvel, the Marvel momentum dropped. Despite the fact that Marvel tried their possible best to replace them with Sam Wilson and Ironheart, Marvel failed woefully. That's why Marvel ended up bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans back to the Avengers Doomsday, because they know that that is the only way they can revive the MCU. But the truth of the matter is that it is just temporary. Because no matter how they do it, those characters are still going to leave. And if they leave, who are they going to turn back to? And the worst part is that Spider-Man, that was supposed to be the lead of Marvel now, is not even fully owned by Marvel. Sony is one that owns Spider-Man. That means the MCU cannot use Spider-Man to his full potential. But DC, on the other hand, all their characters is within their reach, as in DC have full access to their entire universe character. So if DC can decide to use any iconic character without no issue, but it's just that DC lack vision and leadership. DC have been irrelevant for 15 years now. So if DC should start becoming relevant and start taking their character serious, DC will automatically overcome Marvel in just 1 year. Just for example now, Man of Tomorrow is coming out next year. If James Gunn really do that movie to what fans really want, he bring up that Man of Steel hype back through Man of Tomorrow, then DC are back on track. With that movie alone, DC can stand a chance to compete against Marvel in the future. But right now, as a DC fan, I'm just hoping for the best, because this DC right now is currently boring. So let's just hope James Gunn knows what he's doing, and I hope the Man of Tomorrow is going to be more better than the Superman movie that came out last year.